I'm absolutely delighted. My very good colleague and acclaimed and award-winning playwright, James Kenworth. Today he's going to talk to us about a play that's reimagining a classic, Animal Farm.
The time had come when each and every one of us had to decide whether we were going to be the problem or whether we were going to be the solution.
So that's the title of the presentation on paper: 4 legs badass, 2 legs wasteman, and obviously we'll look into detail about that. Reimagining Orwell for Austerity Britain. So as it says, I'll explore the process, methodology of adapting a literary classic with a contemporary spin, as Anna was talking about, using particularly urban, inner city, London dialect, whatever that might mean. We'll look at what it might mean there. Let's just begin then at the beginning, funnily enough. 2014, I was given permission by AM Heath agents. They represent George Orwell estate. Still very protected, and I will perhaps come back to that about how the application I made to the George Orwell estate to modernise Orwell's satire, because that was the aim, and give it a contemporary twist. So let's have a look at those slang terms. I like this, the Urban Dictionary. How does it define badass? A badass isn't someone who wears ripped leather jackets. A badass isn't someone who breaks stuff to look tough. And a badass isn't someone who fights for the fun of fighting. That's the definition of a poser. A badass does not try to be a badass or look tough. A badass is simply a badass. You know, it's quite a simple plot. But all I needed was that cartoon to show me what events happen when. I didn't want to see one word of Orwell's writing. So that gave me quite a bit of a vacuum to work in, as it were, or a bit of space, my own space to work in, as long as I knew what happened next. Okay, so the animals plot the revolution. What happens after that? Oh yeah, they chuck the farmer off. What happens after that? Power struggles start. Okay, right, that leaves me free to put my own language in. In theatre, I think perhaps one of the reasons I don't feel precious is because I know that virtually 99% of my language will be, I will see it and I hear it. It won't be cut. I mean, I think that's a continuing battle with internal, psychological battle with writers. How much information, exposition, is needed and how much is taken out. I agree with you. I think, if you're not, that's a very good point. If you're not familiar with Animal Farm, and of course, there is that. There may well be that scenario. Possibly my version might be a bit tricky in the beginning. Thanks for the questions. They're really fascinating.